Alright, so hopefully yesterday was okay. Today what I wanted to do is, we'll first start by going over the homework. And I have something, that was, kind of a crazy lesson. If you guys are a little confused, I understand it. Hopefully you're watching this homework video to get some clarity. So let's see what the story is here. First problem on the homework said C was 58 degrees, side C was 4.5, and then side B was 12.8. Alright, so we have an SSA. Let's set it up. The angle, side opposite it, and then the other side. Let's find the height. The height is always the other side. Other side times the sine of the angle, which is 4.5 times the sine of 58. 4.5 times the sine of 58 is 3.8. Is that right? Did I do it right? 12.8. Oh, yeah. Sorry, guys. It's not 4.5. The other side is 12.8. So 12.8 times the sine of 58 is 10.8. That's right. So the height would be 10.8. Well, look, that's bigger than this side. So if it was drawn to scale, it would look like this. 4.5 would look something like this, and it would be too short to connect. So if the height is bigger than the side opposite the angle, we say that there's no solution. All right. Let's move on to number 2. Number 2, angle A is 140, side A is 48, side C is 46. So we have another SSA situation. We draw the angle, side opposite it, and then the other side. So let's find the height. The height in this case is going to be 46 times the sine of 140. And that comes out to 29.5, or what was it? Here, I just cleared my calculator. 29.6. And if you take a look, 29.6 is smaller than this side, so we could definitely have a solution. The next step that we do is we compare the side opposite the angle to the other side. And in this case, the side opposite the angle is bigger. So if you look at our flow chart, this is just one solution. So using the law of sines, we're just going to get one solution here. I don't feel like I need to show you all those steps. We did, this is kind of like an easy one. We talked about how to do this yesterday. So if there's only one solution, we know that this is 140, this is 48, C is 46. So the way I would set this up is I would do 48 over the sine of 140 and set that equal to C over the sine of angle C. If you use your calculator, I have the work here, you'd get angle C is equal to 38 degrees. You could subtract those from 180, you get angle B would be 2 degrees. And then to finish it up, side B, you would do 48 over the sine of 140 is equal to side B over the sine of 2. And if you cross multiply and divide, B would be 2.6. All right, so that's the answer for number 2. Take a look at number 3. All right, we know that B is 60 degrees, side B is 9, and A is 10. So again, we have an SSA. You have the angle, the side opposite it, and then the other side is A. The height would be 10 times the sine of 60 is 8.7. Alright, so that makes sense. 8.7 is smaller than 9, so we could definitely have a solution. Next we do is we compare the side opposite the angle with the other side. Side opposite the angle is smaller than the other side. So in this case, there's two triangles. So the way that we always do this is we find the normal triangle first. Then I'll show you where the second one comes from. So at this point, you guys could do law of sines. This isn't something new for you. The new part is looking at the second triangle. So the way that we would do this is we do 9 over the sine of B is equal to side A over the sine of angle A. And if you cross multiply, divide, and use the inverse sign here, you'd get that A is 74.2 degrees. And 180 minus 60 and 74.2 would give you angle C as 45.8. To finish it up, we could do 9 over the sine of 60 is equal to side C over the sine of 45.8. And if you cross multiply and divide, you'd get C as 7.5. Alright, so that's your first triangle. Now the second triangle, what we're going to do is we're going to draw it leaving this side alone, this angle alone, but that side 9 we're going to draw over here. So the second triangle is going to look like this. Now we could use the first triangle to solve this. So we know that if this side's also 9, it's the same side, we just drew it a little bit differently, then this angle is the same angle as this, 74.2. So to find this angle, we could do 180 minus the 74.2 degrees. And that comes out to 105.8. If we subtract those two from 180, we'd get angle C as 14.2. And then to finish it up, we could do side B over the sine of angle B is equal to side C over the sine of angle C. And if you cross multiply and divide here, you'd get that side C is 2.5. So that's your second triangle. Alright, one last problem from the homework, and then I'll show you something else we'll be doing today. Problem number 4. It says that angle A is 38 degrees, side B is 10, and side A is 8. So we have another side angle. A, side A, the other side is B. First thing let's do is find the height. The height is going to be 10 times the sine of 38. And that comes out to be 6.2. So the height, 6.2, is smaller, you always look at this side, than the side opposite the angle. So the next step that you do is you compare the side opposite the angle with the other side. 8 is smaller than 10. If you have that scenario, unfortunately, we have another two-triangle solution. So just like before, we'll just kind of go through this quickly. At this point, it's just normal law of sines until we have to draw that second triangle. I'm going to do 8 over the sine of 38 is equal to 10 over the sine of b. Cross multiply and divide, and then take the inverse. You'd get that angle B is 50.3 degrees. (180) minus those would give you angle C is 91.7 degrees. And then if we do law of sines again with 8 over the sine of 38 and set that equal to side C over the sine of 91.7, we'd get that C is equal to 13. Taylor Swift's favorite number. So that's the first triangle. Second triangle, we're going to keep this side the same, this angle the same, but draw that side 8 over here. So if this is also side 8 and this is side 8, this angle and this angle are both 50.3. We could use supplementary angles to finish it. Or 50.3. Alright, so let's go ahead and do this. Using our supplementary angles, if we know that this is 50.3, angle B would be 180 minus 50.3, which would be 129.7 degrees. (180) minus those two to get angle C would give us 12.3 degrees. And then the last thing we need is side C, so let's use two things that we were given. 8 over the sine of 38 degrees would equal side C over the sine of 12.3. And if you cross multiply and divide, you'd get that angle side C is equal to just 2.8. Alright, so hopefully this is making a little bit more sense. Stay tuned. We're going to be talking about the law of cosines today.